very recently because of David's publication of his book, which got me thinking again of the patent disclosure that he briefly showed you, in which he has also as figure 9.1 of his book. And, you know, for at least 10 years, I basically accepted the conventional wisdom that I was wrong about that. There's no way it can work for the reasons that David has mentioned, and other reasons that the no-go theorems are really true. But recently, I think I've discovered a loophole so that what I had in the patent application may actually work, but it involves using what are called coherent states, which lasers, among other things, generate. And there may be a loophole, but what's going on is that it's a new theory. It's an extended theory. It's not just the ordinary quantum theory. Like what David was saying about the money transfer in Vienna, that will still work. That's still untappable because you use a certain kind of light source, these individual photons. But if you use a different light source, if you use a different kind of light source, you may be able to signal. It seems like you'll be able to signal. And the equations are very precise. It involves what's called spontaneous symmetry breaking. You may have all heard of the Higgs particle. It's similar to that kind of physics. So I'm actually going to be talking about this formally. I'm invited by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency and NASA. I'll be in Orlando at the Orlando Hilton next weekend after next, where I'll be presenting a paper, and part of my paper will be about this new discovery. And we'll see if people can refute it. So far, nobody's refuted it. Maybe they haven't paid attention to it. But it's a very precise mathematical proof showing a loophole that there's a more generalized quantum theory, just the way general relativity generalizes special relativity. So you may say there's a general quantum mechanics beyond the orthodox quantum mechanics that David mainly talks about in his book. And all three of us, in June of this year, we were at a American Association for Advancement of Science conference at the University of San Diego at the second retrocausality workshop, in which we heard Darrell Bem, who's a very distinguished professor of experimental psychology at Cornell, give very good experimental peer-reviewed evidence that the future affects the past, that there is this retrocausality in human consciousness. That's a normal attribute of human consciousness. And the key buzzword I want to put into your minds about all this, it's called signal non-locality. That what Darrell Bem was talking about, and what is a new concept, signal non-locality, which violates the no-cloning theorem, that's at the basis of the quantum information theory, as David said. And so the point is, although you can make untappable quantum encryption, it'll still work if you use the right kind of light source. You may have another kind of light source in which you can actually transmit the signals. But we'll see if that turns out to be true or not. I'll turn this over now to Fred. Oh, we got that. Okay.
Well, I'm going to get back to